you got a soul to say. I just been cooking that new. I'm about to drop in a few. Think if I call it the great, the people gon' call it the truth.
Bismillah Rahman Rahim, brothers and sisters. You are listening to Straight Words on WVON 1690. This is the Talk of Chicago. We come to you every Tuesday night right here on WVON 1690, the Talk of Chicago. We're proud to be here. This is Straight Words by our great illustrious brother who is on the lead. He's created this show about 2 years ago, just about now, brothers and sisters, and we're going strong right here on WVON. The editor-in-chief of the Final Call newspaper, the great brother Richard Naba'a Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, sir. How you doing?
Wa alaikum salam, sir. And one day I hope to be illustrious, but praise be to Allah. Let's keep rolling.
you already there. We got another. Well, you in the company of illustriousism. Let's call it that. With our great brother, former editor of the Final Call newspaper, and now he is a contributing editor. He is the other illustrious brother, our great brother, Brother James G. Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum to you, sir.
Wa alaikum salam. I just want to be appreciated, brother.
That's right. You appreciate it, brother. You are.
Thank you.
You definitely are. Yes, sir. This is Brother BJ here, and brothers and sisters, we come to the end of 2024. How ironic that we are on the air on New Year's Eve. And we want to give some reflection about this past year. We want you to chime in and call in and let us know some of the important things that happened in your life or things that you viewed or saw that were important that we need to mention. 773-591-1690, 773-591-1690, and hit the text line as well at 312-480-9775. Brother Naba'a, what we got here on the plate there, brother?
Well, brother, illustrious Black Radio Hall of Fame DJ and host, DJ Murphy. I think, brother, we I guess we'll start in this hour. We'll kind of look at some of the news of the day, but then in the 10 o'clock hour, each of us will have the opportunity to talk about some of the stories, events, people that we see as being really significant for Black America in 2024. Then in our final hour, we're going to have, God willing, Brother Ryan Muhammad of the Final Call, who is going to give us his view on some of the major facts, major figures, and major issues on the global stage. So, I'm actually feeling pretty good, brothers. I want to thank you two again for making this thing successful. It really would not be without you two. I want to thank those who have supported us, and I want to say, brothers and sisters, we are asking you to continue to support us. We're going to come up on our 2-year anniversary in a few months. And we're going to have to make some decisions. But if we could get now, if you haven't given, this is for the people that have not given, right? If you would give just $10 a week, if we could get 100 people to do that, that would go a long way, right? Because we want to sustain what we do. We have taken our product, so to speak, and our faith to the marketplace. We think there is a need. Very often, so many of you inspire me just by how you express appreciation for the show. And that's gratifying. But we just, in order to make things work, we're calling on those who appreciate the work to give to the work. And you can do that by going to straightwords.com, and you will see how you can give via Zelle, Cash App, PayPal, and you can even give by Apple Cash. If you want to be one of those people that will commit to giving $10 a week at least, right? You can text me at 312-480-9775 and just give me your name, your phone number, and just like $10 or $10 a week pledge. And we will keep you, by Allah's grace, we'll keep you abreast, because this is a difficult task to achieve, but it's nothing that we can achieve.
That's right.
So we thank, and lastly, we thank Almighty God, Allah, for bringing us this far, for giving us the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and for giving us a teaching that has enriched our lives and is now allowing us to enrich the lives of others. So, some of the news of the day, of course, the country is mourning the passing of President Jimmy Carter, and talking about his contribution. So I'm not going to go any further into that out because the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan hasn't spoken about this. And, it is a news item, but some things we don't want to get out of our place. And we'll see how we do. But there's some things about his foreign policy that they're looking at. And the other thing was, while he tried to institute reforms, notably in the CIA and other government agencies, the Defense Department and such, all of his reforms were basically fought from the inside. So you can imagine if the president is giving directives and those who are in these agencies don't want to obey, that says something about the country and something about the mindset. So even someone who is reform-minded faces a struggle. It reminds me of when President Obama first came into office in his first term. And he talked about, and he went and visited several countries, and he talked about America pursuing a different kind of foreign policy. And it was called Obama's Apology Tour. And he was derided for it. And people said America has nothing to change and nothing to be concerned about. And, basically America's the greatest and everything she does is great. And so, this is the dilemma of the American presidents as they try to move this country forward, Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, Brother Naba'a, I agree. Some of the things I think about, maybe y'all can help me out on this, because it deals kind of with the news cycle, part of it does anyway. Because not too long ago, a week or so ago, the headlines was all about the UFOs and these we call them drones or whatever were being seen overhead. And so that was going for quite a little bit. Every day that was part of the top of the news headlines. And now maybe I'm missing it or maybe I'm incorrect, but y'all help me out. I haven't heard much about them.
Nothing.
Especially not as a headline. So what does that mean? Does that mean that there are no longer any of these strange sightings? You live on the East Coast, Brother BJ. Maybe you can help me out. Are there no longer any sightings? Was this something concocted to get the public either diverted to this as a topic while something else is going on? Was the government involved? Were these military objects up there that the government was trying to redirect and say, were they up there looking for the baby planes, trying to figure out how to target them? Or were they baby planes? I just raised that because so often the media agenda misdirects or skews what the population or the people should be really focused on, or at least asking questions about. And I guess in some ways social media has help to kind of interfere with some of that, especially from the major networks. But I just throw that out there. The other thing I would throw out there is, as you mentioned, we are focusing so much on what's happening in terms of the election until the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. We hear what he has to say, but I would just question, the whole MAGA movement was supposedly, from the grassroots of the MAGA nation, but at Mar-a-Lago, all I hear about is these billionaires, and I don't know no common MAGA person who's walking in and out of Mar-a-Lago talking about whatever their agenda is, but I see all the millionaires and billionaires there. So have they been duped? Those are two things I would just throw out as questions, maybe for the listeners to chime in on, as they also give us their news events that they've focused on for the past year.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I think, brother, one of the other things that happened recently, and it's disturbing but not surprising. Unfortunately, it's not surprising. This is a black inmate beaten to death in New York City.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Robert Brooks, who was a 43-year-old man serving a 12-year sentence for assault. So the report says that he died in the early morning of December 10th. He was beaten by 3 officers at the Marcy Correctional Center, an all-male prison in North Albany, New York. He had been transferred from another facility into this prison and state prison, New York State Prison, in North Albany, New York. Excuse me. Excuse me. And he was basically captured. I mean, now this is body cam footage, right?
Yes, sir.
And they captured them stuffing something in his brother's mouth like a rag. They were carrying him. He was already bound into some room. I read that it was for an examination. And then they just beat this man, bro. This man was not sentenced to death, brothers and sisters.
Right.
He wasn't sentenced to death. And so, these types of deaths, I think sometimes it's easy for us to dismiss.
Yes.
If we don't understand. But see, what if it was your husband, your nephew, your brother, your cousin, somebody that you knew? And I read something where the governor has denounced the killing as saying she was outraged and horrified by this, quote, senseless killing, and she was going to appoint a new superintendent at the Marcy Correctional Center and push $400 million to install cameras and distribute body-worn cameras to all Department of Corrections and Community Service facilities. But you would have to ask the question, first of all, brothers and sisters, this is not the first time there's been problems at this facility.
Right.
The officers that beat this man were white. Many of them previously had complaints against them. Inmates have talked about physical assault, sexual assaults, and other assaults at this facility. So you mean to tell me it took the death of this man to put in money to better monitor what's going on inside these institutions and to distribute body-worn cameras? I mean, you know, brothers, in my mind, you have to ask the question, right? In a case like this, where you're beating a man, he's under your control. Your body cameras are recording it.
Yeah.
And you're just beating the hell out of them. So to me, that says something about the mindset. And it also says something about ineffective prosecutions. So now the Justice Department is supposed to be involved in reviewing the case, and the New York State Attorney General's Office of Special Investigations is also looking into this. But brother, this is just you know, this is horrific. This is horrific.
Yeah, well, I was about to say, when I was watching that, my son had sent me that video, and I was like, is this real? And the way they were beating him, it's like they were surgically trying to dismantle him.
Yeah.
And the way the police officer kicking him in the groin, and then I saw blood. I'm like, what's going on? And the viciousness, we got to protect ourselves at all times. He couldn't defend himself at all.
Yeah.
But
you can't.
We've been talking about. Yes, sir. What we've been talking about is like everybody got to start feeling the pain that we feel when we're grieving over our loved ones, because we never, like you said, Brother Naba'a, I mean, how would you feel, man, if that was your son or your cousin, and I'm here in North Carolina, I can't do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? What can I do to redress this grievance of seeing my loved ones slaughtered and killed like that on video, which is causing so much trauma? I think we try to block it out. I think a lot of people just don't like watching things like that anymore because it causes too much pain. But until they feel the pain that we feel, I don't see this stopping anytime soon, brother.
And I mean, you got the video evidence of it. If that was just something that happened on the street, some brother jump on another brother, 4 or 5 of them, and the exact thing plays out. When police arrive, one thing they're going to do is take people into custody. They're going to question them. They'll probably hold them and then let them bail out. But they would definitely be coming back for further charges or et cetera. I don't know, Brother Naba'a, maybe you know whether these cops, I'm sure they may have gotten taken off of their job, but they're still working, I'm sure, I would imagine. And are they still working? Have they been arrested?
I think they fired all of them, brother.
Know. Sir?
I saw that they fired all of those officers.
Okay. But they've not been charged with anything, though, right?
Not yet. Not yet.
Yes, sir.
Not yet. But I think that's interesting. Go ahead, Brother James. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying, well, hopefully they are, because, I mean, it should be one set of rules. And as you said, I think you mentioned, I mean, there's protocol in policing. Especially, I'm surprised they turned their cameras on, but since they did, they knew, like you said, it was intent. They had intent to do this man harm. So it shouldn't be too much question about whether there's a crime involved. But then again, this is American justice, so you never can say that. Go ahead, Brother Naba'a.
Yeah, and we've seen it over and over again with police officers, corrections officers. But I think, Brother James, you raise a very serious point that we need to consider. If 3 brothers in South Shore walk up on a black man on a bus stop and they start beating the hell out of him like that, and it's captured on video camera from a store or video camera from a business or video camera from a home, they are immediately brought into custody as soon as they can be identified. Right. We saw the same thing with the black cops beating Tyree Nichols in Atlanta, and the last week talks about this is the black man who the black cops in Atlanta, not Atlanta, Memphis, right? Memphis.
Yeah.
Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
Memphis black cops with this special unit. They basically beat this man pretty much to death. He died the next day. The last that we reported, the officers who copped the plea may face more time or punishment than the other ones, despite the body cam. You know what I mean? Despite that.
Yeah.
So, brothers and sisters, look, we got a serious problem here. And why do we talk about this? We talk about this, brothers and sisters, because to me, every time one of these things happens, it is further proof and evidence that we will never be able to get justice from these people. Brother DJ, we got somebody on the phone, on the line?
Yes, sir. Brother Cliff is standing by. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Cliff. Go ahead and talk to us on Straight Words on WVON.
Alaikum salam. Thank you, brothers, for taking my call. And we appreciate WVON for having you brothers live, even with this this evening, what most called New Year's, and maybe you guys can speak on that. I'll just touch on that briefly. The history of New Year's as it relates to us being in bondage. Historically, it was the time in which, the slave masters would pretty much auction us off. So it was a dreadful moment, historically in the 1800s for black people. So as the white man would settle his debt with other white boys, they would auction off slaves, break us up, break up the family, and then, celebrate in terms of settling their debt. So it was a dreadful period for us as black people during slavery, but you can just Google that up, you know what I mean? But yet today we still celebrate it, getting drunk, whatever, and so most of us have a tradition of going to church, which is a good thing, but even the church, should mention this, I think, and educate us as a people of what it relates to in terms of historically. But I'll just end with this. In terms of what's happening, in terms of these police beatings, and nothing more horrific and wicked, in my opinion, than the Cyan Massey case, where this white, evil, wicked, devilish cop just shot this sister right in the face, point blank, for no reason at all. And the sister just said, "In the name of Jesus, I rebuke you." And so again, and these police officers, for those who are listening that are Trump supporters, I don't think these, from a political standpoint, they got to be involved in politics, in terms of voting. I don't think they're voting for Kamala Harris or they cast their vote for Kamala. These are Trump supporters. I got to be straight up and be honest. They're insurrection, Trump supporters. And so I just see more and more and more that's happening. But you know what, brothers, I got to say this in closing, that people will say that there's a combination and there's a distance and a separation between the black community and law enforcement. And I'll just end by saying this, is that when we got brothers and sisters, particularly our young, misguided brothers, that are taking the lives of other brothers in our community, then you have that common bond with white racist police officers and our misguided brothers that are working together to take the lives of other brothers. So in order for us to be saved, I believe, we got to start doing right, and we got to start doing better. We can't have people in our community helping white racist cops take the lives of other black people, if that makes any sense. So I just want to end with that, brothers. And assalamu alaikum. Thanks for taking my call, bro.
Salam. Thank you for calling in. And I think, this is really, I think back to when there was a push for body cam, right? Body cams, police body cams, as a way to kind of, if not change, at least alter their behavior somewhat. But instead of seeing an altering of behavior, we saw cops just turn the body cams off.
Right.
With no repercussions.
Right.
And so in the city of Chicago, this city has spent literally millions of dollars So when you're wondering what's happening with development in South Shore, what's happening with development on the west side, what's happening to development in the Inglewood neighborhood of Chicago, millions of dollars that could have been invested in development and yielded results and yielded benefit have been paying for these cops. Many of them, I would say basically most of them, because it's rare that they get fired, they retire from the police force.
That's right.
Others of them don't have one case. They have repeated cases.
Yep.
So why isn't this a major topic that black aldermen are talking about? Why isn't this a major topic for Mayor Brandon Johnson? In Black Chicago, why isn't it a major topic for you? Since our babies are dying in the street, do you think maybe that money could be better invested in them and their future? As opposed to keeping these same vicious animals, I'm going to call. Because what they have done, man, they have stolen people's years off of their lives.
Yeah.
They have disrupted family. They have terrorized communities, I'm going to say. And there's no repercussions.
Yeah.
So you want to hold our ignorant children and our ignorant brothers and sisters to account, but those who are supposed to dispense justice ain't no accountability. So, BJ, we got anybody else?
Yes, sir. We got Brian on the line. And brothers and sisters, y'all can chime in this conversation, 773-591-1690, 773-591-1690. Brother Brian, go right ahead and talk to us on Straight Words.
Thank you, my brothers. I just tuned in, and I've just become aware of that situation down there with them killing the brother, and it's just horrific. And the thing is that it's so outlandish. They wearing cameras now. You remember when they didn't want cameras, but they doing it on cameras. You know, I was in New York when Giuliani was mayor, and you know it was a Giuliani time. That's when he was arresting everybody. But you know we're in a real bad situation, and I don't understand. And then they're talking about giving immigrants police badges and a gun. You know, and I don't know why our leaders and all our people aren't taking this more serious. This is straight up ethnic cleansing. Straight up. And I'm 78 years old. I've seen a lot of stuff. And a lot of people don't see younger people. I didn't realize it until I got this age. You know, I came up in the civil rights period. I was 20 years old. I was, you know, hanging out with the Muslim brothers and the you know, I mean, it was just a whole nother time. And here we are killing each other today, you know, and with all this stuff going on, it hasn't affected our fratricide at all. Yeah. And these people, they know how to shoot. They don't shoot in nobody's house with kids. They go to the range and they kids. I just don't know. We are, it's like our whole history. We don't respond. You know, we just, how can we not all, if anybody else had what we have in terms of wealth as a community, politicians, president, vice president, mayor, all of them, maybe if the Chinese had what we had, we'd be speaking Chinese.
Right.
You know, I mean, they be running. We got all these resources, but it's dwindling quick. And they're I'm scared, my brother. I'm scared. Like I say, I'm 78, And I am scared for our folk. Because I don't think we haven't prepared the kids. They're telling you what's happening. People want to talk about the children. Oh, they are the result of us, the parents. So that shows you a lot of things. We can't come together. We couldn't have a march today like in the 60s. People be raped, robbed, and murdered. You know what I'm saying? We're in a hell of a position, and I've seen it go down. And we can't, the music has been very important, and we can't talk about it. I'm an artist. I'm a musician. I was in a studio a little while ago, and this woman came in with her son. He was a rapper and very intelligent guy, 18 years old, and his mother sang a little, and she was so proud of this guy. And he was a very nice guy, and he goes in the booth, and everything is whole bitch. And, you know, some people, how do you, and she's got to praise that. You know, she can't say that isn't anything. You know, I'm saying we're eating ourselves alive. We're trying to justify calling ourselves. If you ask somebody out here not to use the word nigger, they'll be offended. And restricted language-wise. I don't know. We don't. And the thing is, our enemy knows it. Anytime somebody's trying to destroy you, there's no way in the world that white people could have anything but love for us. They come from us, and we made them. We took the poorest, we took the downtrodden white people, the ones that Europe didn't want. See, this is a penal colony, leprosy, and everything. You see, we took these people where the African people were on a high level, you see, because they had to be to make that middle passage. So we took the people, the downtrodden, the white people, made them the richest, the most powerful white people, right down to breast milk. I mean, it's no way. So, I mean, we need to get, anytime somebody hates you and trying to get rid of you, it's because you powerful. They telling you who they are, what they do to you. You know. Yes, sir. And we should be trained. You know, we should be training these men how to deal with police. Police scared of me. And I'm nothing but a man, but I'm 78 years old, and I know something. And they see it when they walk up on you. And we don't understand that. Anyway, yes, sir. I don't want to be rambling, but thank you, sir.
Very, very good comments, Brother Brian.
Thank you for calling in. You know, brothers, it's and you have to listen to a man who has lived through different eras to see where we are now.
That's right.
And I think, you know, brothers and sisters, we all got to look in the mirror. We all have to look in the mirror, man. And if you cannot discipline your children or correct them or offer them correction. I have a daughter who's an artist. She ain't coming to me with no song about I'm a hoe and I'm outside shaking my backside.
Right.
She ain't bringing that to me.
Right.
She ain't bringing that to me that she go somewhere and perform it. You know what I mean? But she know her father ain't going for that, man. I'm not co-signing that because it's my daughter. I'm correcting her. Now, she's grown, and she can do what she want to do. But I'd be damned if I'm going to stand by after the work that I've put in by Allah's grace and been blessed to put in. Let me add that.
Yeah.
Because it's a blessing to be in this struggle.
Yeah,
that's right.
And to be blessed with knowledge from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And be blessed with a heart to want to save your people.
Yes, sir.
But I'd be damn, man, if I'd have spent almost 40 years in this struggle, and I'm going to co-sign that, you're working against me, damn it, and you dishonor me. It reminds me of what Brother Enoch said, and you can go to our Spotify page, look up Straight Words Defending Farrakhan, or you can go to straightwords.com and you can get the links to our Spotify page and our YouTube page, and you can hear what Brother Enoch said. Excuse me, Brother Enoch Muhammad, Hip Hop Detox, who's got like 20 years of working with young people. So we were talking last week about what do we need to do to save our children in 2025. And he said the parents have to start with themselves.
Come on now.
Yeah.
The parents have to start with themselves.
Very true, very true. And,
you know?
One of the things he mentioned, too, and it often is mentioned, how we're compared to other cultures. You know, the Chinese had what we had. Well, the Chinese do have what we have. Matter of fact, they got a little bit more. The Latinos from Mexico, even the Jamaicans from Jamaica, and they have more of a knowledge of themselves. So when you talk about, to me, in my view, when you talk about us here in the United States, we've been raised. We literally have been raised by our enemies. We've been from babies. And so everything that we have done throughout our sojourn here has been patterned off of what they have taught. And when we have tried to veer and seek a way of our own, and every step there's been a roadblock. When every leader has rose up to give better direction and give a better knowledge to our people, they've been either killed, assassinated, deported, maligned, etc. So we always are starting on square one. And even in 2024, though we should be more enlightened, we still have that mindset. And it's kind of difficult, especially as a population of people, to get it in the right direction. The thing that worked was in 1995 when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan called the Million Man March, and that was because it was a spiritual call. It was a call that had God all the way in and out of it, and that's what opened the hearts of the masses, of the brothers, to come out. It wasn't necessarily Minister Farrakhan, but it was God's message coming through Minister Farrakhan. So we're in 2024, 2025. We're going to be dealing with the same issues. So one question I would throw out is, how do we then get on the good foot? We're not going to see change overnight, but how do we get it going in the right direction? Since that's the conversation most of the time, on all the shows, all of our shows. How do we do that? But we don't have the same background right now as other cultures, so it's a little bit different.
That's right. Well, that's a good question, brothers and sisters. Y'all can answer that at 773-591-1690, 773-591-1690, our end-of-year show heading into 2025 in just a few hours. Sister Tawan, assalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining us on Straight Words on WVON, sister.
Assalamu alaikum. I just wanted to call in and say to you all that we made it through this year together, and I'm so grateful to have you all in my ear every week. And I want to thank you, too, for continuing to bring those stories that some people don't want to hear. I've been, I deal with that a lot when I send things out, and people, why are you sending things out about somebody that killed somebody? I said, no, you have to go listen to the story. And you have to know what that person's story is. And our people are suffering. And you want to call yourself a savior. Oh, God, he's going to send saviors. I'm going to be a savior. How are you going to save somebody if you don't know what you're saving them from? And you all put it up front. and you put it before us to look at it, turn it over. What part am I responsible for? What can I do? Brothers, keep doing what you're doing. Keep presenting what you're presenting. Stay black, strong, and unapologetically Farrakhan.
Exactly.
And don't quit. Don't ever quit, because you still being here, you have some. If you save one person, what did Master Prophet Muhammad say? He would climb a mountain 40 miles high and eat rattlesnakes to save one. He didn't say 1,000,000, 1,000. He said one. So if you can get one person's ear and you save one person, and when everybody keeps saying, what can we do? Start where you are.
There you go.
Wherever you are, meet a person, start a conversation. Sometimes we walk by people and don't speak. Don't give them a friendly look. We're not kind to one another. We've lost that. And Prophet Muhammad said that to Allah, a kind word is charity. That's the greatest charity.
That's right.
So if that's the greatest charity, why can't we just give each other a kind word? Don't stop with the stories where you showing us the injustices our people go through. Minister Farrakhan, he sent out a little Brother Dimitri put something out when he was doing the slave Bible, and he said, Mr. Farrakhan said that the reason we don't have empathy for one another is because we don't know the terror and the trauma that we've been through, and we're all carrying this trauma.
Yes.
Many of us are still carrying this trauma. He's given us tools to work on it. And one of the things I did notice, I know I'm saying a lot, but I just because I want you all to keep doing what you're doing, because it is beautiful. And Ms. Farrakhan gave us tools to work with it, because when I read Dianetics' book, I said, oh my God, when I found it, one day the light went off after I read the book about 4 times. I said, oh my God, this is the reverse of the lynch letter. They want us to believe that the lynch letter is not real. But we are living and seeing the lynch letter every day.
Right. Every day.
Every day. All those people that they say killing each other, doing this to each other, our people been through hell. They still going through. They can't get, some of your brothers, you said, and they say, I can't get a break, sister. And I know they feel that way. But that's because they haven't been able to take on, release, that demon and work on that one in the sky. We got to look at the man in the mirror. We're always looking for somebody else to change us. But if you just have a hand up, reach up, and you have somebody reaching up, there's got to be somebody reaching down to pull that hand up. And there's a whole lot of people with their hands up, but there's nobody there to grab their hand and just give them that one little lift. And if we just do that, I think if we just keep trying, keep doing what we do, what we've been taught to do, and I'm going to just say this. I don't have the mobility that I used to have. So I had to find another way. So what I do is I just share everything. Somebody send me something, I send it to somebody else. I just share it. Right. I call people. If you don't see somebody, I tell people every day, if you haven't seen somebody, you go to the mosque, the church, the store, and you haven't seen somebody, call them and find out how they do. Just send your sunshine. Give them some light. Let them know that somebody cared about them. That's all we have to do, because Allah does not need anything from us except we take care of ourselves and we take care of one another. We are the glory of God. And I just want to say that.
That's absolutely right.
All right. And may you all have God's peace in the new year.
That's right.
Yes, ma'am. Brothers and sisters, we what should we do, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to help be part of the solution, join the Nation of Islam.
There you go.
If you don't want to join the Nation of Islam, join some other effort. If you don't see an effort that suits you, start your own effort. Look, brothers and sisters, Did you know that there are people out here doing this work. The work needs to be expanded, and the late Reverend Willie Burrow from Operation Push said once, it's not so much that we're disunited as we are disconnected. So there are people out here every day that are changing the lives of young people and others. Did you hear what I said? Every day. Every day. And we're going to tell more of those stories, inshallah, going into the new year to try to encourage people to join an effort. But all hope is not lost. Do we love ourselves enough to fight for our own survival? This enemy is powerful, but he can't stop us. Did you hear what I said? He cannot stop us. We just have to be bold and courageous enough to participate in a revolutionary act. What's that revolutionary act? Love ye one another even as I've loved you. That's revolutionary. Want for your brother and sister what you want for yourself. Grab a hold of the young person. Well, I ain't got one. Yeah, you do. You got one right in your own family.
Yeah.
Probably right in your own house. And once you start with him, then of course you want to change the environment, right?
Right.
Because the minister said years ago, and I never forgot it, I'm not quoting him perfect, but he basically said, we can do all that we can to teach our children and train them. But if we don't work to change the world will destroy our children.
Mm-hmm.
So we start at home, and then we spread abroad.
Yeah.
And you know, to me, Brother Muhammad, is it that easy? Yeah, it's that easy, except the execution of it, with everything that is vital and important, there comes difficulty and pain. You remember all them black people being beat and lynched and hung for wanting to vote, for the right to go to the restroom of their choice? I mean, you remember people being lynched? You remember Emmett Till? So there was pain involved as we tried to force white people to change, and as we tried to get the rights that we were supposed to have that we never did. So that means, brothers and sisters, we can do it. We're going to have to overcome some things, but we won't be lynching one another. We won't be raping one another. We have to learn how to resolve our differences, and we have to learn how to respect one another. But this 2025 can be our year.
Come on.
I'm saying Black America's year for progress.
Yes, sir.
You hear me? If we decide that's what we want to do, and that's what we're going to do. So all hope is not lost. Let's get on up, black man and woman, and go to work out here.
Yeah.
We say that God is with us. Let's go prove it.
Yeah.
That's right. Go ahead.
I think you hit the nail on the head when you said, like the minister said, you don't know what to do with the young brothers, send them to the Nation of Islam.
Absolutely.
Nation of Islam has a track record, even though you may not agree with the nation, and that's why you don't bring them. But like you said, if the parent has an issue with a young person, that parent needs to just bring them. Tell them, I'm going to buy you dinner, but I want you to stop here with me first. Just get them to the mosque. We'll take it from there. But you got to get beyond this idea that the nation is something different. No, we all are in our community. We all love our community. We love our young people, and we were just like them. But now we're different. Right. And you like the difference you see in most of us. So why not let us have your young person, and we'll return a brand new person back to you. I guarantee you that.
You know, Brother James, the beautiful thing, like you look at the Savior's tours, and this is where the Muslims basically all converge on one city. Yeah. And they go out and they serve our people. They talk to them. They try to give them a message that is life-saving and resurrecting. And our people accept that message by and large.
Yeah,
that's right.
By and large, so we want you to know that the minister has invited you to bring your children to the nation, your young people that you cannot solve the problems of. But I'm gonna say this, but I would say that's not just for the parents.
Right.
That's for the leaders.
Right.
That's for your mayor. That's for your alderman. Right?
Yes.
Right? It's for them. It's for Chicago Public Schools to allow us to go in and do the work that brothers like Brother Enoch Muhammad has been doing, and others. Like Brother Abdul Muhammad was doing as a principal. And the work is not limited to the Nation of Islam. Yeah. The work is too big.
Right.
So we're going to have to work together.
That's right.
There's some pastors out there doing great things. There's some activists out there doing great things.
Right.
So, brothers and sisters, I'm going to say again, let's work on being more connected, regardless to whom or what, in 2025. How about that as a goal?
I love that. And that's leading us right into the next hour. We're going to talk about some of our thoughts on 2024 and bring that to the table. We want you to do it as well, brothers and sisters. Call us and let us know what you thought about 2024. What lessons did it teach? 773-591-1690, 773-591-1690. Jump in the queue, and we'll get to you coming up right after the break. Go to straightwords.com as well and find out how you can donate to keep our show going strong as we're heading into our second year of broadcasting on WVON 1690, The Talk of Chicago.
Happy Kwanzaa from our family to yours. We're The Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.